If you live in Alamance County, you may have a state legislature who is infringing upon your constitutional Second Amendment right. I'll show you who it is in just a moment. Well, hello and welcome to Alamance County Talks Politics. The other day I was listening to the radio and this advertisement came across one of the local radio stations in Alamance County. Listen to this as I play it.
Keep and bear arms, or to carry firearms to protect yourself and your family? North Carolina House Representative Stephen Ross does. He not only walked on the vote to pass Senate Bill 50 for permitless carry, now he reportedly says he'll vote no on the override vote for anti-gun Governor Josh Stein's veto of the bill. That makes Representative Stephen Ross not only anti-gun, but also Josh Stein's lackey. Call Representative Ross at 919-733-5820 and tell him to vote to override Stein's veto of Senate Bill 50. Once again, call Stephen Ross on 919-733-5820 and tell him to override Stein's veto. That's 919-733-5820. Paid for by Grassroots North Carolina. For more information.
So that is it is an advertisement put out by Grassroots North Carolina. And of course, we see it's talking about Stephen Ross and how Stephen Ross is now potentially flip-flopping is their term, is what I've seen. I'll show you in just a moment on this bill SB50. Now, let me tell you just a little bit about SB50. SB50 is Senate Bill 50. It was passed by I think the House and the Senate, and then it was vetoed, of course, by Josh Stein. So it does not become law, but it goes back to them. Well, the Senate overrode Josh Stein's veto, I believe, on July the 29th, 2025. It was supposed to be voted on by the House, but they have postponed that. And now it's supposed to be voted on. I think it's August the 26th of 2025. So in this month of August, it is supposed to be voted upon. So what is SB 50? Well, Senate Bill 50, basically, the most notable provision allows citizens aged 18 and older to carry a concealed handgun without a permit, effectively establishing constitutional carry in the state. So it goes on to say, what does it do? Okay, that's one of the things it does, but it eliminates the requirement for a concealed carry permit. So if you want to if you want to carry your gun and conceal it, you would have to have a concealed carry permit, which would involve you taking a safety course or being fingerprinted and a criminal background check being ran on you. Individuals who meet North Carolina's requirement for gun ownership, example of U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, you're at least 18 years old. You have no disqualifying criminal convictions or mental/physical disabilities preventing safe firearm handling. And you can carry concealed guns. You can carry a concealed handgun without a permit. Now, it also still maintains several exceptions. The restrictions for those who could not who would not fall under this bill would be those who have been convicted of a felony, those with domestic violence convictions, military veterans with less than an honorable discharge, and those convicted of a DWI within the past 3 years. So SB 50 is now going to go before the House on August the 26th. And one of the big concerns about this is that Steve Ross may be voting against it. So what I want to do now is show you this advertisement that you heard from the radio comes from Grassroots North Carolina. And you can see right here from the very beginning, they say call Speaker Hall at Representatives Ross and Dixon. So apparently they want Speaker Hall to put it on there for a vote, and they want you to put pressure on Representative Ross and Dixon and to vote in favor of SB 50. So they've got here, it says call and email Speaker Hall immediately and tell him we want to vote on the SB 50 override. Make Representatives Dixon and Ross feel the heat and see the light. And and so you continue on down here, and it says it's time for the Speaker of the House, Destin Hall, to call this. And then right down here you have, I believe this is the section. Yeah, here it is. Take immediate action. Grassroots North Carolina wants you to call. If you live in Alamance County, you click Stephen Ross here, and you can see you see his name, his image. You can see the numbers, contact information, and things of that nature. So if you're interested and you would like to contact Stephen Ross and let him know how you feel about his support or for or against Senate Bill 50, you need to let him know. There's also another website called North Carolina Firearms Coalition. And it says, tell Stephen Ross, Representative Stephen Ross, don't flip-flop on gun rights. And it says, this is for the permitless carry bill passed with Stephen Ross's support. So SB50 originally passed with Stephen Ross's support. But now that Governor Stein has vetoed it, Ross is hesitating. In fact, I think, I can't remember the word they used in there, but he may not be voting for it, is the last words that they had heard on this. He may be waffling, flip-flopping on this situation. And, I listened to that advertisement. It even said he was Josh Stein's lackey. And I looked up the word. I said, I had an idea of servant. He's going to do the will of Josh Stein, which I don't believe that's the case in everything. Maybe on this this gun bill, possibly. But they want you to know, they say, tell Representative Ross to keep his word. So apparently, his word, and vote yes to override Governor Stein's anti-gun veto. So with that being said, what I want to do now is I want to take you to the Second Amendment. And as you see this, you can see the Constitution of the United States, Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So one of the things that you need to remember as you're looking at these, as you're listening to this video, is where do you stand on the gun rights issue? Do you believe, if you believe that it shall not be infringed, it seems like to be fingerprinted, to be have to be a certain age, at least 20. You have to be 21 now. Knocking it down to 18 seems reasonable, since you can go and fight in a war. But do you think that it's infringing upon your Second Amendment right? If you do, you need to call Stephen Ross and let him know that where you stand on this issue. And if you don't, let me encourage you both sides, put your pros and cons down in the comment section of this video. But they will be voting on this on August the 26th, from what I understand, August the 26th, which is just a couple of days away. Let them know what you think the position is they should take. And we'll go from there. By the way, let me say this. I've contacted at least one of the gun, club, a gun club in Alamance County. And I've not heard anything back. I've looked at the website. I don't see anything there. Now, they could be pressuring him behind the scenes, or they may not even be involved. I'd be interested to know if you're part of one of the gun clubs, and I'm not going to mention, I know there are at least two. There were three, but at least three that I knew of. But if you're part of a club that shoots guns, let me know where you stand on this. Do you think it's a constitutional right? Wouldn't it be great for North Carolina to become the 30th constitutional carry state in the union? Well, that's something I want you to let me know. So if you would, put your comments in the comment section. And until next time, this is Alamance County Talks Politics. Take care.